We are Trent. We are Trent. We are the Brew Crew. We are the crew of the brewing community. We are legend. Legend is myth. And what myth is a fine craft beer on a perfect sunny day in the middle of winter. It feels just like summer, and you're going, this is a good day for a beer. Yeah, those are the days of myth. They're a very pleasant thing to have in one's life. Thank you, everybody, for enjoying the craft beers on those days. We have 10 seconds left, so we will get after it in 10, 9, 8, 7.
In crypto, speed matters, but trust matters more. At Caleb & Brown, you're never on your own. We connect you with your own personal broker and a 24/7 team, ready to help you buy, sell, or swap over 250 digital assets with one flat, transparent fee. No spreads, no slippage, no hidden costs. Get the best market prices through deep, aggregated liquidity executed by our professional trading desk. Your funds are secured with institutional-grade cold storage for total peace of mind. Track every move in real time with our intuitive client portal, anywhere, anytime. Whether you're trading as an individual, trust, or business, we give you speed, security, and peace of mind. Thousands of clients in over 100 countries already trust Caleb & Brown. Visit calebandbrown.com and start your personalized crypto journey today.
Crypto community. Guys, welcome into another episode of Blockchain Brew Show. I let Trent take that one away. Guys, give him applause. That was dope.
That was not me.
Guys, if you haven't already, last thing go have it. If you guys haven't already, please smash that golden like button, guys. Get that like button smashing. That's how we do it. In the Brew Crew, we also have the subscribe bell right here. With this bell, you go just ring-a-ding-ding and a ring-a-ding-ding. And with that, you can find us over here on YouTube in this beautiful iconic corner. And over here on Kick and Rumble, we are expanding our wildest dreams over there because the Rumble community and the Kick community have set a goal to push us over the numbers and surpass YouTube's greatest numbers that they've given us. So, you know, I love competition, so let's get after it. Guys, for my community folks out there, I'm very tired. And so I just got water today. It's just water, guys. I could spill it, but you can see in there, it's just water. I'm just trying to stay hydrated, and you know why I'm trying to stay hydrated today is I had a truck fire. My truck caught on fire today at work. In which case, we had 1.5 foot flames coming off my engine motor right next to my hydraulic line. And I was like, this is not a good sign. So we extinguished it with a fire extinguisher promptly. And then again, for good measures, to make sure it stays out. And then I called work and I said, hey guys, we may have had a small roasting mellow party on the engine. And they said, well, in case of emergencies, we'll have to turn you in. I said, well, fiddlesticks, which made my day even longer than a regular day. But if you like my American First Cup on Martin Luther King Day, hey, cheers to you. And me not burning up in a ball of flames. Trent did not have any hydration today, so he's getting after his
sleepier machines. That's T-Square right now. Sleepier machines. Hey, you know, someone in the chat, Francisco Santos, says currently looking at Knight and Frax, and I forgot to tell you the other day, I just so happened to stumble upon the second round of openings to apply to be a Midnight ambassador for the channel.
Nice.
And you know, when they had opened up the first round of applications, like I didn't see that it was open, and then like I went to go do. Well, I knew that they were going to, and then I went to do it, and it was all of a sudden it was like, oh, the first round of applications is closed, and I couldn't do it. So I caught the second round when it opened and sent off an application. So, you know, fingers crossed. You guys are looking at the Blockchain Brew being an up-and-coming Midnight blockchain ambassador. So.
Guys, this news is coming to my ears. I didn't know we're so popular that we're going to be ambassadors. I'm pretty excited about this. You guys know me. I've been a big supporter of Knight and Cardano ecosystem all the way through and through. So, yes, that's exciting news, Trent.
Yes, ambassadors, he says.
Ambassadors.
So yeah, sleepier machines. This is a triple dry hopped hazy double IPA coming in at 8.5% on the dot. Brewed with Citra, Moteca, Nelson Sauvin, and Galaxy. ASMR pop. This beer has grown on me, by the way. My first rating, I gave it a 6.9, but that was far too low, I believe. I think as I've continued to open up some more cans of it, I'm giving it like a 7.4. So
7.4.
Yeah,
That is a slight growth on your spectrum.
Yeah. There's our poor as opposed to the rich. And if you're in crypto right now, you feel like you're the poor, but just wait, hodl, DCA, you'll be the rich.
But if you're in silver. And you should pull up the dominance of Bitcoin against silver or gold.
Yeah.
And seeing, can you pull that up?
Yeah.
I'm really curious on that myself.
Let's see here. Let me share my screen. And bada boom, bada bang.
I wonder, what's up, Chara?
And then what's the silver ticker? XAG?
XAG? I haven't. Oh yeah, XAG. If anybody is wondering too, with their exchange tokens, while you pull all that up, Trent, I could run over the ETFs real quick.
It doesn't let me pair Bitcoin against silver.
That's really interesting. I feel like that'd be so interesting. I feel like precious metals against like Bitcoin or the crypto cycles, like total, would be super interesting.
Yeah.
Today we had a total outflow of Bitcoin on the ETFs with Grayscale dumping. I bought some. Fidelity dumped a lot. Fidelity is extremely dumping. Oh,
It lets me do silver against Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, why not gold?
I don't know. And yeah, here you go if you're interested in seeing it real quick.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That's the daily chart since November 2025.
And what's
And
that mean when it compares against silver? What does that mean? It's showing
So
strength.
this is silver's performance against Bitcoin.
Does it show any weakness?
Yes. I mean, you know, you have hit the second take profit level at this point.
How do you know how do you know which profit take? What's the first level?
The first level is right down here, because it says, you can't see it because it's not zoomed in enough, but it says TP1 and TP2.
Oh.
So the first little blue marker up here is the first take profit, and it smashed that. Came up here to it smashed that after creating a bearish divergence, actually. I mean, it still went up. So, part of my question becomes, how much longer can it keep doing that? Like, it's been in this bearish reversal cloud since November. So like it can't just do that forever.
It's interesting because, like, I would agree with you, number one, but number two, the money flow is still increasing, and I'm like, when is the peak to the money flow? We're at a 93.
Yeah.
Like, how much longer can it keep going up, right?
Yeah. Well, you have stochastic RSI is also creating a bit of a bearish divergence. It has to actually peak first in order to see it. But you can see it right there. You have a swing down on the Stokes with a swing up on price, and that would be a bearish divergence. And you've got all of these like red triangle reversal signals up here, but they all haven't like really amounted to much. But see, what that tells me is that like eventually it will amount to something. The money flow on my end on the daily is like it is decreasing. That could be another bearish divergence that gets put in here, unless the money flow absolutely just rips here in the near future. So, I would not long silver against Bitcoin at this level. It's the trend can't keep doing this. I mean, I can see it.
But this isn't silver. This is silver against Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, silver against Bitcoin. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it could. I suppose it could like correct and then go make another higher high still this year, but. If you break down below this level, like you can argue that that's now a downtrend, that's a new downtrend. And then, the bullish reversal cloud is all the way down here. Most recent trend line on the daily is all the way down here. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at the weekly, yeah, I mean, the most recent trend line on the weekly is all the way down here as well. Although money flow is just starting green. I don't know. This can't keep doing this.
Do you think it can make a cup and handle and just keep going back up?
I think it can make one more push on the weekly. But as it does, because the Stokes on the weekly are actually like crossing bullish, but if the Stokes don't get up past 100 again, which they're not going to, because I mean, unless the Stokes make it literally all the way up to 100, then you're going to get a bearish divergence on the Stokes on the weekly. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. It can make one more push on the weekly, I think. But I wouldn't bank on it. So there you go.
It can with supply and demand. Yeah. We're gonna head on over to Bitcoin ETFs, guys. Bitcoin ETF on the daily. We've had a large number of outflows, 400 million. Shut us back a little bit. I mean, the last couple of days though, we were raking in 750 million, 840 million. So losing 400 million is not the worst thing in the world for Bitcoin. Ethereum outflows or inflows were very small, only at 4.7 million inflows compared to like the last like 3 days, 160 or 164, 175, 130. That's a really small day, but I guess we're not negative because BlackRock outbought and Grayscale. Solana ETFs, we're actually on negative today, 2.2 million, with Grayscale selling 1.9 million, and 21 Shares Capital selling 700K, with Fidelity buying 400K with the net outflows 2.2. XRP, on the other hand, Franklin Templeton bought 1.12, so we had a net inflow of 1.12 million for XRP. So let's go XRP, guys. Like I've been trying to tell you, there's not a lot of outflow days for XRP. XRP is a machine, and it's a force to be reckoned with in this space. Now, we saw a lot. If you didn't realize this, yesterday we were blowing up on X. Like we had like 120 people watching us yesterday on X. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was.
That was like Julie's X the other day.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I was like, wow, where's everybody shooting from? I mean, I know I'm super entertaining, but sometimes you just grow that entertainment level into a higher another level. It normally can trend, but we are surpassed normal anymore. Paper silver might drop, but physical, I disagree. I heard altcoins aren't looking good. It's just that people are yapping. And, I agree with that. Me and Trent have even talked about that with altcoins aren't looking that great because we're kind of bearish on the market overall. What's up, Zerkaz? I was gonna say Zerkaz. How you doing today, brother?
I see what you're saying, Chara. And altcoins are not looking good short term. They are going to good altcoins are and bad altcoins are absolutely going to still have their heyday though.
It's really interesting seeing that the longs came back. Yesterday we looked at the longs trend because we were live during the liquidation event that took place for crypto, and this red wave trend on the liquidations was like right here. It was non-existent. It was like nothing. And I was like, oh, they just got crushed, man. We swing on over the 7-day. It's still pretty minuscule compared to the shorts, guys. The short liquidations are adding up, guys. They're trying to be squeezed. And to be honest with you, we haven't really came down a whole lot in price of a squeeze of that magnitude that we had yesterday. The 30-day does show that the long leverages are pretty still significant coming on in. They're very spread out, like at this range and this range mainly, and the shorts are mainly just on this range at 93, 405, 405. But if you go to liquidation heat map, we got some shorts piling up at that 93.5 level. We were just talking about that as one of the areas of zones that we could push towards next, which will probably put us back at 94K. But that's not 97K, which me and Trent have been talking about 97K for a long time, saying that it's a dangerous level to be at 97K.
I would like to put a short in at 94K.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty sweet spot. The question is, are we going to come back down to 91.6 before we go up to that level? I actually don't think so. Falling wedge we have going on right now, we can snap up, hit those guys, and come right back down. Catch them off guard, I really hope BTC comes back. I think a lot of people are hoping for that. And that's why it's not going to happen.
We could be looking at like, a quarter four pump all along, but Q4 2026.
Well, I had somebody tell me today he has a lot of money invested in crypto, not a crypto person. He sold his house, very well off. He's heavily into stocks, heavily into crypto. And he's like, dude, my stocks are all right. My crypto, I think it's going to be fine. But I don't want to look at my phone while we go through this time with crypto. He's like, I'll just come back and check on it in like the end of the year because that's when I think it's really going to gain back. And he's relatively new to crypto. So he has experienced how XRP moved up 800% in 2 weeks. He's like, you're just tiptoeing, dripping down a couple of percents over the next couple of months. Like we say, we spread out 30% going down next 30 months, and then you 800x up. He's like, fine, whatever. He's like, I just don't want to look at it.
But guys, like my average buy price on XRP was 40 cents, and I sold a lot of it over $3. And the thing is, yeah, now it's hanging out around $2, and it's long, and it's boring, and it's grueling, and it's sideways, and it's down into the right, and it's just beating you down, right? But no pun intended. But the thing about it is, it does that until it doesn't, and then there comes another heyday where it does another 3, 4, 5, 800%, and this time it's doing it from $1 to $2 instead of doing it from 40 cents.
What's your average buy price for Cardano? We were talking to someone on the show yesterday, and they said that they DCA'd in Cardano since like $3 level, and they've been doing it all the way through the market and back up, and they have an average price of like $1.25. Oh
no! My average buy on Cardano is like 28 cents, and granted, like it's not too far away from that level right now, but hey, I could have sold over $1 last year. I didn't, I sold a bunch of XRP above $3, but I could have sold my ADA above $1, but honestly, I don't want to. I have a bias, Cardano community. Let's go.
Something interesting, Trent, is I'm just looking at the Plume, which is I believe an RWA play that's pretty popular. Where's my mouse? And Plume actually has a 44.2% of market cap unlocked, the equivalent value of 22 million coming as of the 20th, which is tomorrow. I just want to come over to CMC and actually verify this information is accurate, because that might be a reason to short Plume. So we come on over here to take a look at Plume. There you got the token unlocks. Top it. Lighting up. And there is a ginormous jump coming in. It looks like they're a day early, so this unlock actually hasn't happened yet, but it is about to jump 15%. I noticed that CoinGlass or CMC isn't quite accurate in the information. So there's a 15% unlock as of CMC coming out for Plume tomorrow, which is pretty aggressive unlock, to be honest with you. I mean, I've heard a lot about this project. I don't own any of it. Talks about a module RWA infrastructure. Zig ships it, invites you to how it works. Well, I don't know anything about Zig, but Plume is on RWA play. Yeah. First, Plume Network is the first full stack RWA chain, which I'm not even quite sure what full stack means, besides the fact it's probably supposed to sound cool. But so, yeah, there's a giant unlock coming out, guys. And so maybe this is the time to short. What is the Fear and Greed today, Trent? We're at 42 on the Fear and Greed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We came back to neutral the other day. When Julie was on.
I saw that 50.
We were at 50.
50 right on the dot. I was cracking up about that, actually. So yeah, I mean, there's an unlock coming out right there,
which is kind of bearish to me. Like if it relief rallies to neutral and then goes back down, I mean, and we don't actually enter into greed, like
get out of here with that.
That's short to midterm bearish.
I think a lot of these top gainers today are kind of like deceiving in a way, because they're not really top gainers, because they're just gaining some of the stuff they lost yesterday in that crash. So you got to keep that in mind. It's a little bit trickier to read that information. Do we have any new letters, Trent? Any newsletter you're going to read today?
Oh, sure. Let's see here.
Dash down 9% today.
Oh yeah, where's old Daniel Kaufman at? Danny boy.
Danny's boy. Danny's boy.
Daniels Kaufman.
Yeah.
This week's Caleb and Brown weekly news roll-up. Guys, if you want this newsletter dropped in your inbox, create a free account with Caleb and Brown, link in our description below. You get 24/7 access to your own personal crypto broker. You can be at Disneyland, you can be on the beach, you can be in the streets of Thailand, and text your broker at any time and ask them to execute a trade. They'll find you the best price using their array of DEXs and over-the-counter liquidity and centralized exchanges, and they will find you the best price for your spot trading. There you go. Thing is, it's free. You don't have to fund your account or anything. You don't have to make a commitment to check out what it's about and get this weekly news roll-up dropped into your inbox. And then you can start your own crypto YouTube channel and jump in here on YouTube and read this weekly roll-up every Monday, sometimes Tuesday. So there you go.
Trent, I just did a poll. Will the U.S. acquire Greenland? And the first 2 votes came in at yes. 100% U.S. will acquire Greenland.
Dang. All right, well, here we go. Bitcoin hit a 2-month high of $97,963 US on cooling US CPI data. Number 2, New York Stock Exchange. This is an interesting story, you guys. Developing a tokenized trading platform that will trade 24/7. It is about time. There is no reason, I repeat, 0 reason why in the year of our Lord 2026 that you should not be able to trade any asset 24/7.
Yeah, right.
Crypto industry says stablecoin yield limits language in market structure bill favors banks. Number 4, Iran's crypto economy reached $7.8 billion in 2025 amid unrest across the country. Guys, that is because the Iranian currency literally went to 0 against the dollar. So, you could have been an Iranian billionaire with only about $800 US. So there you go.
How does that even happen if they have all the oil?
They don't have all the oil. Number 1,
they do have, but you know what I mean. Like they should have a lot of oil.
They have a lot of oil, but I don't think they're able to sell their oil in their currency. I think they have to sell it in dollars. No. But still, that would, those dollars coming in would still add to their reserves, right? So I don't know. I don't know why that is. But it did go to 0 against the dollar, their currency did. And, Bitcoin solves that. But, that's why, the people in Iran are doing whatever they can to, scrounge up any kind of crypto they can in self-custody and use that for goods and services. So it happens, guys, when an economy collapses. Crypto, obviously precious metals, obviously bullets. I would also say whiskey are all they all become viable, really viable means of peer-to-peer economy. So let's see. World Liberty Financial's USD1 stablecoin was integrated into the Myriad prediction market. And last but not least, Bitwise's, shout out to Bitwise, shout out to Wally, Mr. W. Bitwise's Chainlink ETF launched on the New York Stock Exchange. So here we go.
What up, LT? LT. What do you think of the poll? What up, Maine? You think XRP drops to $1.65 in a crazy week this week? I don't know. Maybe. I think we might have $1.35 on the table over the next month. So possibly.
I'm going to skip some of this. I mean, we do have, like, so this is kind of important up here. Let's see, macro.
Define kind of important in the shortest version possible.
In kind of important is like, it is important, but no one cares right now.
Well, the reason why I say $1.35 LT, maybe let me double check real quick. I think that XRP shot up very quickly earliest part of this year. Remember, and if we go to the daily time frame I was looking at? No, daily's still too high. 2 day, 3 day. There we go. So we go to like the 5 day or the weekly. I want to go to the weekly. The weekly time frame. Average price right now is $1.10 for XRP. And I think if we, at the current rate, it's in 4 weeks right now, the average price may be around $1.35, which lines up with one second, Trent. I gotta finish my thought. Right here, at this local level right here, we touch it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times. The 200 keeps moving up. The likelihood of us coming down and breaking below this ginormous needle up and coming down and touching this zone right here, which is also the 100, I think is very likely on the weekly. So, it might be crazy.
What once got wicked might just get candlestick.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's just keep in mind. I could be wrong. I would like to be wrong, but I don't think I am wrong because I think Bitcoin. I'm bearish on Bitcoin. And I don't know, LT. Have you seen me and Trent talk? We've been saying 97K for the longest time, and then we're going to come down. The whole market's going to come down, and literally, it's we were saying that weeks before 97K. So now it's like, I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like I'm wrong.
I'm hopeful that we can hold somewhere between like 69K and 75K for a bounce, but I might just be talking hopium. Like I don't know. I recognize that might just be my hopes and dreams talking.
It's just still pretty scary to see Bitcoin go to 75K.
Yeah. So in economic data, the U.S. Consumer Price Index for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2025, came in on forecast at 2.7%, while the U.S. Producer Price Index for December came in below forecast at 0%. So there you go. The cooling CPI data, according to this up here was what was behind the pump to 97K, or really 98K. It got 97,963. So, the cooling CPI data was behind that, and I actually think that's kind of bearish because if that's the only reason, like if that was a CPI data driven pump, I do not think that CPI data alone is a good enough reason for Bitcoin to reclaim 100K. Like, I do believe Bitcoin will reclaim 100K this year, but I do not think that CPI data is a good enough reason for Bitcoin to reclaim 100K in the near term. Therefore, I believe 98K local top, we are going back down. So,
which is pretty crazy.
I hate to be like the bearer of that news, but
we're just trying to be unemotional and just tie you into what the data is telling you.
Yeah. I am not a Bitcoin bear, guys. I'm not. But it's sometimes the bears eat. They don't.
Sometimes the bears eat.
Yeah, they don't. The bears are not. The bears are not the apex predator. Humans are, right? Like the bears don't come out on top, but hey.
Monkeys are. What's up, GIG?
Sometimes the bears gotta eat. Let's see. You know,
Adult
and
out-
honestly, if
Adults.
the Bears don't eat, the Bulls don't eat.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to eat.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And when the adults enter the room, sometimes scary talk comes out. You could ask my kids. Ah, shit.
So Bitcoin opened the week at $90,878 rallied to a 2-month high of $97,963 on Wednesday, January 14th, and sold off on a global macro uncertainty around President Trump's tariffs, U.S. interest rates, and Q4 earnings. As Bitcoin's price gained throughout the start of the week, almost $800 million in short Bitcoin positions were liquidated. They got licked. And they got licked big. Price is now trading around $92,900 to start the new week, up 1.9% on 7 days. Bitcoin investment products saw almost $1.6 billion of inflows. Bitcoin dominance ranged between 59.1% and 59.6% this week. I do like to see that, though, you know. I am glad that Bitcoin dominance is still high. Like, while altcoins are bleeding, like I would like to see altcoins make a big recovery later this year, with Bitcoin still keeping a high dominance. That way, altcoins can get back to some decent prices. Bitcoin dominance is still high. And then we can get a real alt season marked by a fall off in Bitcoin dominance. So the nearly $6.4 million worth of Bitcoin seized from the creators of the privacy focused Samori wallet has not been sold. The White House confirmed this week. Instead of being liquidated, the seized Bitcoin will be added to the country's Bitcoin reserve, which was created in March 2025 using the nation's seized holdings. So that's good. That is really positive news. It's not short or midterm bullish. It's not going to affect the price right now, but it is some evidence that the Trump administration is still serious about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, because anything that they seize, they're not selling, they're stacking, right? So Bitcoin advocates urged U.S. lawmakers to reform crypto tax rules. I'm going to skip that. Okay. In Bitcoin buying news, Stake and Shake's Bitcoin buying program has added $10 million worth of Bitcoin to its strategic reserve since it began accepting Bitcoin payments 8 months ago. All Bitcoin payments are being directed into the firm's strategic reserve. Let's go Stake and Shake. They also cook their fries in beef tallow, which I like. So go Stake and Shake.
I thought you were going to say something like they also cook their fries in XRP tallow or something like that. XRP fat.
Let's see. ICP.
Daily. What's up, Daily?
This week. You know, we may look at a short on ICP. I think we talked about that last week, and I might be behind the 8 ball on that now. But, ICP gained 23.7%. The cloud network, which decentralizes computing power, gained when Dominic Williams, ICP's founder, released a white paper detailing Mission 70, which will cut inflation on new ICP tokens issued throughout 2026. That's good stuff. XRP stamp of approval. XRP declined by 3% despite another regulatory win for Ripple this week. Ripple, which created XRP, secured a preliminary electronic money institution EMI license from Luxembourg's financial regulator. The license will expand XRP-based payments and cross-border settlements across European Union markets. XRP gained 3% on the news before declining with the broader market in the second half of the week. So let's go XRP. SWE stalls. Good. I don't care about SWE. Let's see. Altcoin. Solana saw high inflows. XRP saw high inflows. SWI, Lido, and Hedera saw little bitty inflows. Bitwise Chainlink ETF launched on the New York Stock Exchange ARCA on Wednesday, January 14th. In other crypto news, market structure bill is delayed. What do you know? World Liberty Financial stablecoin has been integrated. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Also this week, Pakistan's Ministry of Finance. I don't care about that. New York Stock Exchange 24/7 trading. That is there's no reason that shouldn't happen in 2026. So I'm glad to see it, but it just should happen.
Dang time.
Right. South Korean authorities and whatever. I don't care about that either. And there you go. There's a week's worth of news, guys.
Wrapped up for yours truly in 10 minutes. Beautiful. Trent bubble wrapped it too. He didn't put a little bow tie
Daily
in.
says, what is this Luther movie? Well, Daily.
What's Luther?
Luther, as in Martin Luther, the Protestant reformer that nailed the 95 Theses to the door of the Catholic Church in Wittenberg.
Did that go over well for the church?
What?
Did it go well for the church?
Well, no, they brought him to trial at the Diet of Worms. And
Why do they call it the Diet of Worms?
Well, a diet is like a trial, and then worms, or like the German pronunciation is Worms. It's Worms with a city in Germany, so it's basically the trial at Worms. But they asked Luther if he would recant the stuff that he had been writing. See, because the Catholic Church at the time was selling indulgences.
What's indulgence?
When I say indulgence, I mean, they were exploiting poor peasants across Europe at the time. And they were saying, if you buy this indulgence, this piece of paper, you can buy your loved one like 500 years less time served in purgatory. And
is that true?
Well, no. I mean,
how do we know that though?
Huh?
How do we know that?
Because Martin Luther's sola scriptura, like scripture alone, is our final authority on all matters of faith and practice, and scripture says that you cannot buy salvation. Like
but that's not salvation. You're buying yourself from purgatory.
But there's also no such thing as purgatory. Your works, your merit, especially your earthly money that's going to fade away and rust one day, you can't take it with you, cannot buy you any merit from God. And so they were exploiting the poor, and they were saying like, hey, spend your last coins on this indulgence and you can absolve yourself of literally any sin. By buying this, and like Martin Luther got pissed because he saw poor peasants in his town, shilling out the last bit of money in their pockets to buy these indulgences from the Catholic Church, and dude was heated, and so he marched himself down to the church in Wittenberg and nailed the 95 Theses to the door. And because the printing press had just been invented like a half a century earlier, people went, and he didn't know that this was going to happen, but people went and pulled his writings off the door. They ran it through the printing press and they mass produced it. They had it sent all over Europe within like 10 days, and the Pope was pissed.
That's like going viral before viral was going a thing.
Yeah, the Pope was pissed. He wanted Martin Luther's head on a stake, and Martin Luther comes to trial, and they ask him to recant and take back what he said. And this is what Luther said, knowing that he could die. He said, unless I am convinced by the clear testimony of Scripture and by reason, I cannot and I will not recant. My conscience is captive to the Word of God, and to go against conscience is neither right nor safe. And then he said, God help me. Knowing that they could have killed him right there. And then the crowd bursts into an uproar when he said that, which is why they didn't actually kill him right then and there, because the crowd went wild and they didn't want the whole crowd to turn on them. So yeah, wild story. Did they stake the decapitated heads on stakes? They did. Yeah.
I wonder if it was a smart thing to do for the rich people to buy all those accountants of getting the purgatory times. Like, I got 10 of them, baby. Look at that. You're like, I don't know how long I'm there for, but I got 10 of them. That's a gajillion years. But they're like, well, what's a gajillion years to another gajillion years? And then they're like, the poor people are like, well, I got one, but I'm like, is it dumb for the rich person to buy 10, or is it dumb for the poor person to buy one? I mean, like, dumb is dumb, right?
Yeah. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me, right? Like, I thought God opposes the rich and the haughty and the proud and is near to the poor and the crushed in spirit and the brokenhearted. Like, I'm not saying poverty is a virtue. I'm saying, like, God opposes like those who are rich and proud of their riches, those who are rich and arrogant with their riches and step over others with their riches,
Yeah.
Because we're all rich, by the way, in the West. Compared to the Philippines, like compared to Thailand, Malaysia. I thought about this week. I am far closer to the lived experience of Taylor Swift. She's a billionaire, right? I am far closer to the lived experience of Taylor Swift than I am to the poor in Uganda. Far closer. Here's the reason why. Number one, here in the West, like, you can get relatively rich in crypto. You can enter into a business venture and it pops. Like, you can, there's things that can happen. Like, Ben Armstrong went from living in a trailer with no electricity and heat to $30 million within a couple years. Like, that can happen. If it doesn't happen, well, like, look, me and Taylor Swift have probably both been to Yosemite National Park. We've probably
she doesn't travel that far.
We've probably both looked at El Capitan. We probably like a couple of the same snacks, a couple of the same Western branded snacks or whatever. Like, we've both probably taken a bubble bath. I don't take baths, guys, but you get what I mean.
You take a bubble bath?
I don't. But but my point is, like, the poor in Uganda have done none of those things.
That's so funny, Trey. Why would you say that?
To be funny. To elicit the reaction that you're having right now.
You're saying you take a bubble bath.
Guys, you can sub to my OF to watch me take a bubble bath.
You just said that you're a Swiftie and you like bubble baths, Trent. I think when we develop our own beer brand, we should have like two different flavors. One, we call it Tay Tay, and the other one called Not Tay Tay, and see which one sells more. I'd be curious.
Like, but you guys want to know what I mean, though. Like, replace Taylor Swift with any other billionaire. And like, T Swift is getting married soon. T Swizzy, getting married to Travis Kelce. Tight end.
Hey, ain't no ring on it yet. She's still not off the market.
The tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. I cannot personally verify whether he does in fact have a tight end, but they say so. But anyways. Like, replace her with any other billionaire. Like, you and I are far closer to the lived experience of, it's just his turn, not his girl. You and I are far closer to the lived experience of Elon Musk, or, That's pretty out there, but still, I mean, we're far closer to the lived experience of Elon Musk than we are like the poor
Isn't Elon Musk
peasant in
got like all
Uganda.
his rich big houses and he lives in like a little trailer?
Oh yeah, that's true. Not a trailer, but like a little dinky house. Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, you guys are actually far closer to the lived experience of Elon Musk than you
Yeah.
are to the lived experience of the poor in Uganda. Like we are rich and we don't realize it. And what did Jesus say? It's hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. It's harder than a camel going through the eye of a needle. And the question then becomes, well then how do we do it? How can we enter the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus said, with man, this is impossible. But with God, all things are possible. And it's another reminder that salvation is not about what we can do. It's about what Jesus did at the cross. So, yeah.
Hey, Trent.
Yeah.
I have one more bad thing I want to say about Taylor Swift.
Okay. he just dipped off the air. I think that was his way of turning in early for the night. He did say at the beginning of the stream that he has to. He had a crazy day, by the way. For those of you who logged on later, his garbage truck caught on fire today. Like, thank God he wasn't in it when it caught on fire, but he smelled it, and he was training a new guy to take over his route. I didn't. What are you doing? I didn't boot you. How big fire? I don't know. Well, he said it. He said like they got out of the truck and watched it. Like BTW, I was in it, but he wasn't in it like in the flames. He, from what I understand, he smelled it and then got out. But like got out and watched it. I don't know about blow up, but watched it engulf, and so that made his day quite a bit longer. And I think he might be turning in early tonight. So that being said, let's jump into some charts. I think I owe DZ a chart on THQ. So let's go cover that. Daily, did we take Greenland yet? No, but we have a poll up, don't we? I think we're gonna get it one way or the other. To quote Trumpty Dumpty, now that's what he said, right? One way or another. Okay, so DZ THQ. Whoa. What is going on with that? I know we probably we've charted this for you before. Did this just get listed on Kraken? Is this why it looks like this? Do I need to find another pair over here? Well, that doesn't look good either. All right, I'm gonna go to the 4 hour on this. The data is hard on this, guys, because it's so new. Like, you can't get a weekly chart. So, we're going to do the best we can. 4 hour. Here's the thing about this, guys. We are underneath a sell signal on the 4 hour chart. And we have hello?
You're not on screen.
I thought whoa, why am I so frozen? Okay. Oh, that's because you called me. Okay, thank you. Bye. Let's see here. Okay, THQ. And got another line right here. So you've got two converging lines of resistance above us, and you're leaving a wick up here already on the 4 hour. Not only that, like, eesh. I mean, these Stokes are going to make a lower low. This hyper wave is going to make a lower low. And you know, you've got a strong sell signal on the 4 hour with a red trend catcher, and take profit number one is down here at 0.02725 for a dump of about 33%. Yeah, I mean, like, if you have some of it, I wouldn't buy a bunch of it right now. He says, I'm curious if Daniel cashed out of Dash. Well, the thing about that is he was on the other day, right? And like, it felt like we almost convinced him, although that's Daniel's game, right? Like, Daniel exists to troll. Like, that's all it is. And by the way, when Julie was on the other day, like, we had people from her chat coming over here, and they were like, wait, you guys know Daniel Kaufman, the AVAX guy? And we were like, oh, he must not have been in your guys' chats for a little while, because he's not the AVAX guy anymore. He's the Dash guy. But yes, we know Daniel Kaufman. Daily, that's funny. Yeah, so we were like, oh, we know Daniel Kaufman very well. But yeah, the last time he was on here, he was like, he didn't go for it. Like, we were telling him to sell on the big pump, and then rotated and DCA those profits into AVAX. Why not? But he says, I like Daniel Kaufman. I like people who can be different. I like him too. I hate CCP. I like him too. I just sometimes he's a little too rude to like some of our other members of the chat, and sometimes we just do have to like put him in a timeout. It is what it is. I don't want to lose him though. I think he might be good for the channel. Like, I think that because I get worried when everyone sounds the same. Exactly. Communism. Yeah, man. I hear you. Let's see here. So, Bitcoin. I do hope that we can... Yeah, I do hope that we can put in some kind of bounce. You know, stochastics are low on the daily, and stochastics are low on the daily. Like, we've not lost the level of the trend catcher at 92.1, and we've got this uptrending line of resistance below us. You know, and we can like definitely either hold here and make a lower high, which would actually be a head and shoulders, right, on the daily. You guys see that? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Okay. So we could like bounce from here, create a right shoulder. I would love to see that because I want to put in a short at 94,000. So yeah, we could do that, or we could go lower, bounce off of this uptrending line of resistance, and then and then make a lower low from there, it would still put in a daily head and shoulders. So yeah, stochastics are low on the daily, so I do expect to see some kind of weak bounce off of this level. I would like to see it go to 94. That's the place where I want to put in a short. And yeah, 4 hour. 4 hours bearish. It's coming down. Red trend catcher, red money flow. So this is why I think that the scenario on the daily, I think there might be some more downward pressure, just a bit. Hopefully, but the daily stochastics are low, right? So a little bit more downward pressure, bounce up to 94, create a daily head and shoulder pattern, and the measured move from top to bottom it depends on where that right shoulder ends up, of course, but that brings us back down to 86. That brings us back down to $86,928, and we end up failing this critical attempt to reclaim this level over here. So, yeah. Somewhere between where we are right now and $95,000, I believe that we turn over and we head down toward, in the near term, about $86,000, and then you eventually have this this descending line of resistance now acting as hopeful support, and that line can bring us all the way down to somewhere between 75 and 79. So again, I've been saying a little bit midterm, I think that we have between $69,000 to $75,000 as a target. He said, so is THQ solid? I mean, no, from what I saw, like we could be having a 30% drop, maybe. Like I know nothing about the project, mind you that, I know nothing about the project, but I think we can see a 30% drop, and that's not even crazy. I wouldn't long it from this level. It's THQ has a strong sell signal and a red trend catcher on the 4 hour, and a take profit level that's 30% deep on the short. So I would not long that right now at all. But if you like the project, I mean, wait and buy some more. Let's see here, Midnight. So Midnight has now gotten a sell signal on the daily. The trend catcher is still green, but like, look how far below the trend catcher we are. Like, that thing's going to turn red at some point. And then once that trend catcher turns red, I mean, what do we have here? A move down to 3 cents. Like, man, I would love to buy a lot of Midnight at 3 cents. I would not be afraid of that by any means. So Cardano, Cardano. You know, stokes are low on the daily. We could be due for another bounce, but all that would really happen, I think, is, you know, we're in this pattern, right? And bam, 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 break. And that break goes down to, you know, a stop loss here at 29 cents. Now, for whatever reason, Cardano is, well, I guess Bitcoin has a buy signal and a green trend catcher on the daily as well. You know, but, you know, the problem is that on Cardano, I don't think that it's going to lead to a break of this pattern because I think Bitcoin is topped. So, unfortunately, like, this long position might get stopped out. So there's that. XRP on me. You know, the pattern on XRP has a much bigger range. And for that reason, I don't hate a long right here. You know, long at support, short at resistance. I don't hate a long right here because the range is wider and you could play this move up here to the top of the range, right? But me personally, I wouldn't do it. And the reason I wouldn't do it is because we have, I wouldn't hate you for doing it and putting a tight stop loss, but, you know, we have a sell signal on XRP here, and we have this long wick down here. What once got wicked might just get candlesticked, you know. I will say we do have very low stochastic RSI on the daily, and we're far below the trend catcher. So a move back to like $2.10 that makes you think that you're going to go to the top of the pattern, but maybe you really don't, and then you roll over, and then you do come down and fill this wick right here. You know, something like that. That's why I say I don't hate a long. I don't hate a long right there. But I'd rather just sit on my hands, and if it does go to 210 or whatever, you know, and we keep the sell signal, then, like, you know, short at that level. That's what I'd rather do. But my strategy right now is not to do any of that. My strategy is just to short Bitcoin and Ethereum at good levels. That's my strategy. I'm not touching anything else. Are you looking at Crow as well? Oh yeah, I'll look at Crow. Let's see here. CRO. Crow fam. Crow Nation. Make Crow great again. Okay, crypto.com on the daily. Man. Another one of these patterns. Converging trend lines. Now, the problem with this, unlike some of the other coins, we've actually already broken below the pattern. And take measured move. The measured move of that pattern, what do you know? It exactly lines up with the take profit signal with the take profit level of this strong sell signal, right? So on the daily, you have a strong sell signal with a red trend catcher. I hate to say it. Don't get mad at me, guys. Don't get mad at me, Crow Fam. Don't get mad at me, Crow Fam. T-Square's your guy anyways, if you're in the Crow Fam. So if you do get mad at me, still like him. Still show him some love. But, but don't get mad at me, though, because it just means you can buy more. Crow's not going anywhere. It is... pockets are lined with that Trump money, right? Like, it's not going nowhere. But it does look like a short. Don't get mad at me, but I would short this. If it fit my strategy, I would short this. Like I said, my strategy is just to short Bitcoin and Ethereum at good levels. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I would short this, though. I mean, that's 26% move. So there you go. Well, guys, if we don't got anything else for today, I'm going to head on off of here. Thank you to everyone. Oh, guys, by the way, if you have not yet created an account with BTCC, let me share this tab instead. Guys, we have a link to trade with BTCC, link in the description. You can sign up, create an account on the exchange with our link, and you will get 100 USDT to trade with. You'll get $100 of trading funds just for registering with our link. No KYC, no VPN. It's one of the coolest deals we've ever had, to be honest. Register to receive 100 USDT coupons issued the next business day. There you go. As simple as that. As simple as that. Simply create an account, no KYC, no VPN. Get $100 to trade with, and enter into whatever crazy trade you want to do after that. So there you go. So yes, thank you everyone that makes this community what it is. It makes this community the most hydrated one on YouTube. Thank you, DZ. Thank you, Zerka. Thank you, Daily. Thank you, I Hate CCP. Thank you... LT. Thank you, Gigaming TV. Thank you, Real Meta Crypto. Thank you, Chara. And that's a wrap, guys. Cheers. Be blessed. And watch Luther. Semper reformanda. Always reforming. Have a good night.